What is up, guys? PieMuffin here. We are back with another Tales of Crestoria video. All courtesy and credit goes to Abyssal Chronicles for this information. They are very hard workers when it comes to the Tales franchise, so make sure you give them a follow as well. We got some information, details in Famitsu. So let's just go ahead and hop over there. So this is going to have to do with what the kind of game setting is going to be. And if you just look at this picture right here, like, that looks like really good quality for a phone game. And obviously, this is our main character right here. But let's just go on and read this. This week's Famitsu has more information on Tales of Crestoria's theme, main hero, and setting. In yesterday's initial announcement, we saw a video teaser and some taglines about the game's first three characters. So notice they're saying first three. So there will be more. First three characters, the theme of the game was about crime and judgment, with each of the characters saying something they did, and then that the world called that a crime. So I'm already getting a kind of feeling where they probably did something that was for the good of somebody or something, but the world doesn't see it as that. But now we have a better understanding what this means and what role it plays in the story, so obviously we got more pictures here. I'm guessing this screen right here is probably going to be your home screen. It's going to be like the little town where you see your... Well, it kind of reminds me of, if any of you have played Danmachi Memoria Forsae, it kind of reminds me of that, where, like, in that game, all the characters just have this little town they walk around in. Also, Memory Defrag, the Sword Art Online game, kind of has, like, a little lobby like that, where you'll just see all your characters kind of standing around. In the setting of Crestoria, unnamed as of yet, so we don't know what the world is called. But you know how every Tales game has a name of the world that they're in, like Vesperia is Terra Lumere, Symphonia was Silverant and Tetheala, etc. People are required to wear magical devices called vision orbs. The orb records everything the wearer sees and can transmit it to Vision Central, a structure placed in public locations like towns and churches. So when I first read this morning, I thought this was going to be like a... what's a good word for it? Like a Pokemon Go type thing, where we were going to have to go to places like squares and churches. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. This looks like it's just going to be a normal Tales game. But I guess we'll see. So when someone is to be judged, the Vision Central shows footage from the orbs related to the crime. So that immediately reminds me kind of the, what were they called? The Earth and Historia in Zestiria. You know how they had these orbs and it would show them records of the past and whatnot. So citizens watching use their vision orbs to send prayers or votes for innocence or guilt. Once enough guilty verdicts are sent, the accused is branded with a crest, and an executioner is dispatched to hunt down the criminal and pass sentence. So, as we saw in the initial teaser, the main character who we see in front of us, which I don't know if he has a name yet, we'll have to keep looking down, but we saw when he picked it, when he was picking up his sword, he did have that crest on his hand, so obviously enough people, for whatever he did, made him seem like he's guilty. But if you look at this kid's face, he has a very, at least for me, he has a very Emil kind of feel to me, where he seems like he'd be a very innocent kid. But I guess obviously we'll see. Oh, it literally says it right here, the main character's name. The main character, Kanata Hyuga, is the son of a monk in charge of one such village. So, okay, so he's got some ties to kind of like the churches and stuff. He's fiercely protective of the weak. Okay. So that already tells me, fiercely protective of the weak. Obviously, I feel like whatever his crime was, he wanted to protect someone who was weaker, but maybe in doing so, maybe he screwed something up and it cost, you know, the grand scheme of people something big. But let's keep going. Often too blunt for his own good, and fascinated by the workings of the vision orbs. He literally just sounds like Sarai. Sarai was always... the vision orbs, just replace that with ruins. He's literally Sarai. In the course of events, he finds himself pronounced guilty and shunned by society. His confession is, I protected someone important to me. So yeah, like I was saying, obviously he had to protect someone important, but in doing so, he probably caused some kind of bad thing to happen. We also have some comments from the development of the game, from the producer. I'm going to butcher all these Japanese names, so forgive me. Tomomi Tagawa. Our main idea with this title was to create a new Tales series you can get into from your phone. Our previous games for smartphones have been primarily companion games where you can revisit older Tales heroes. Alright, so this already tells me, do not expect any other Tales character. They may do, like, special events. I could see maybe there'll be special events where maybe maybe for, like, the 1-year anniversary, they'll put, like, Lloyd in the game. But this is not going to be a companion game. This isn't going to be a crossover game. You're not going to get Lloyd, Yuri, all those characters. Even what I just said, like, they may do, like, events, it's probably not even likely that will happen. Which is very interesting for a game like this, because... but let's finish reading this, and then I'll finish what I was going to say. So, anyone can pick up Crestoria and enjoy a story about all new characters and their friends and allies. As we worked with Mr. Fujishima, the protagonist Kanata developed a distinct and fascinating personality of a modern boy concerned with his image. Our goal is to deliver a new Tales series. Please look forward to further information in the next weekly Famitsu on September 20th and live at Tokyo Game Show 2018. So, we already knew... Okay, so... 8 days from now, we'll get the next magazine, like, kind of cover type thing. Well, I believe it's already the 13th in Japan, so it's the 12th right now, so it's basically a week from now. We'll get more information. And then 2 days after that, on the 22nd, is when they're doing their Tales of Crestoria, like, I guess, panel or whatever you want to call it. So what this tells me is, so we have these first 3 main characters, so whatever story, because... I wonder how this is going to work. Are we actually going to wander a field, or is it going to be kind of like a regular mobile game where you click quest and then you click whatever mission and then there'll be cutscenes and stuff like that. Very interested to know how that's really going to work. And then the gacha system for this is what I'm mostly, because they do say, okay, so let's finish reading this real quick before I get to that final point where I'm going to say about gacha system. In short, Crestoria will not be a game about collecting Tales characters like Link or Reyes. It seems to be closer to a regular Tales RPG on a mobile platform. However, there does seem to be a rolling system. Meeting pre-registration goals will entitle players up to 10 free summons when the game launches. We'll have more details as gameplay is revealed. The other 2 characters will be introduced in the next issue of Famitsu. Okay, so the other guy and the girl that we saw on the first reveal will be revealed next week. So what I wanted to say about this is, because I've already made a video about how I thought this gacha system would work. Now that we take out the entire equation of the Tales characters from console games, from the Mothership series, and, you know, all the other stuff, you take all that out, so this is literally just going to be, so you'll probably, by the time this gacha is going to have a ton of characters, though. Either that, so a normal Tales game has anywhere between 6 to, like, I would say 8 or 9 characters that you play as, so I feel like this probably won't be any different. But here's the thing, there's 2 questions I kind of need to figure out, well, that we all need to figure out. One, how's the gameplay going to work? Is it literally just going to be a regular Tales game? Is it gonna be like Ray's gameplay, except it's gonna be a new game? And obviously it's not a crossover game. And my other question for the gacha system is, what do we summon for? Because I'm assuming we're not summoning for characters. I feel like there's no way, because there's no way a game like this can pump out enough characters for us to do crazy amount of summons for. So I'm like 90% convinced at this point that we're going to be getting either weapons, kind of like Final Fantasy Opera Omnia does, where you just equip a weapon and that's it, and maybe all the arts will be obtained through leveling up your characters, or vice versa, maybe we just unlock the arts. So, like, maybe you'll have random banners that will come up, and then kind of like how we have 5 stars in Asteria, or on Rays, we have the Mirage Arts we can get. Maybe the equivalent of like a Mirage Art will be like a mystic art. So, like, for example, like something like Savage Wolf Fury, like Yuri's thing. Maybe that'll be... Maybe we won't actually get the characters, but we'll get arts that belong to a specific character. So, maybe when you're pulling for these different arts, you'll see a picture of who was most prominent in using that art. But it's really hard to tell at this point what we're going to be getting. I have no idea what this little necklace thing is. Maybe that had something to do with the brand that he's going to have. And here's obviously the picture I was talking about where he's picking up the sword and he has the brand. So they have this kind of like circle thing. Okay, so this is the church, this is the town, and this is whatever item that is. But yeah, just very interested to see how this works and how this guy's going to play. Because it looks like right here, he's got a long sword on his back. You know, just a regular sword. And it looks like he has a knife on the front. So is he going to dual wield a sword and a knife? Or is this going to be a character where you can actually change his equipment? Will he be a Tails character that doesn't just use one type of weapon? Is he going to be able to use swords, hammers, knives, guns? Kind of like how Ludger was someone who used a lot of different types of weapons. Maybe this character will be... Maybe all the characters will be the same way. But it's just very interesting to see, like, how is this going to work? Are we just going to control one character at a time? Or is it going to be, we're going to have a... Well, because it says the first... there's only going to be 3 characters in the beginning, I assume, when the game first comes out. Because obviously you're going to start with this character, you're going to have to go through the story to get the others, so... Obviously when you first start, you're only going to have him on the field, because that's where the game starts, with him. So... It's like they're saying this is supposed to be like a Tails game, but just on a smartphone. So I would assume it's going to have regular Tails gameplay, and you know you'll eventually get your full party. And then obviously the gacha system is going to be a little weird because you know, are we ever going to be able to awaken these characters past their max level cap? Like what's going to happen with that? Now for a game like this, I really do hope that Bandai of America does pick this up. Because I think this could be really good for the... I mean, it wouldn't really save what was already done, because we've already lost Link, we've lost Ray's, and we don't even have Asteria. There's no Tails mobile game in the Western market for mobile games. But since this seems like it's going to be an actual story-driven... I mean, they're all story-driven, but this is going to be less about the gacha and more about playing as these characters. Because obviously with Ray's, we get all these characters, you know, you can build all your different teams... But it's still a crossover game, whereas this will be a brand new story. And obviously, if this is just going to be exclusive to Japan as a full Tales storyline, I know that'll upset a lot of people. So I really do hope that Bandai picks this up. It just really depends how the gameplay is going to work and how the gacha system will work. But it seems like they're putting a lot of time and effort into this. Even like I said, looking at these like screenshots right here, it does look like it's going to be pretty high quality. I do hope it has an open world map, though. I hope it's not just you click quest and then you go to mission like we do in Ray's or Asteria. Like, I hope we actually move our character around the map and then we go into a battle. And then going to those towns, like your main screen is made where you, like, heal your party and stuff. But I guess we're going to have to see, because how else will the story work? Because obviously in a main Tales game, you have the entire story right at the get-go. This obviously is a gacha game, so they're going to implement story chapters as time goes on. So maybe there'll just eventually be a blockade of an area you can't go past yet until it updates. But I'm not really sure. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this video. Once again, thank you to Abyssal Chronicles for always getting this stuff out timely and everything. Like I said, definitely give them a follow if you aren't following them already. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.